the... Is that rock?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the scariest video game bosses.
We're not your slaves.
Number 30, Mask Keeper, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. As a sort of encore to the Visage's boss battle, the Mask Keeper isn't for the faint of heart. The myriad masks that adorn its armor seem to be screaming out in agony and torment. The first time the party meets the Mask Keeper, it's hard to tell if it's actually a friend or foe. However, once the Visage's battle augments into the true boss fight with the Mask Keeper, all bets are off. This menacing specter is a force to be reckoned with.
We all need masks.
Number 29, The Nightmare, Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. The pure epitome of vengeance incarnate, the Nightmare baddie quickly strikes fear, not just in protagonist Red and Antea, but the player as well. The Nightmare is no mindless boss, but is instead a complex, multi-layered, and deeply tragic creature.
No! Come back! Feed upon the pain, the treachery, the outrage!
You see, this haunting force stems from the spirit of a woman wrongfully accused, Deborah Comenius. The leaders of the New Eden settlement declared Deborah a witch, and thus her downfall began. Now the Nightmare seeks to cause pain and misery to anyone who sets foot in New Eden due to the injustices caused against her.
For I will haunt your dreams.
Number 28, Godslayer, the Pathless.
Java Gigas. Tamazakiva.
With a name like Godslayer, it's clear you aren't in for a good time. Right from the beginning of the Pathless, it's quite clear Godslayer is going to punish you, though it isn't until the end of the game that you see the true horrific power this foe has. Apart from cursing the land and causing mass destruction, it's the fact that Godslayer wants all power for himself, stopping at nothing to achieve it. His distorted view of the future led him to do vile things. Now, in this final battle, his true multiple forms appear, and it's quite the terrifying spectacle to behold. Number 27, The Spider Mastermind, Doom 2016. Doom 2016 relishes in its carnage, brutality, and hellish creature designs. Each demonic being has enough creepiness to conjure myriad nightmares for days on end. However, for our money, it's the Spider Mastermind that truly steals the show here, for better or for worse. This hulking cybernetic spider is downright horrifying to behold. Part massive spider, part robot, part demon, this final boss doles out scares and punishment in equal measure. From its exposed brain to its erratic movements to its sheer will for survival, the Spider Mastermind won't go down without a hardcore fight from Doomslayer. Number 26, Ludwig the Accursed, Bloodborne. Now, we could probably pick any of Bloodborne's Lovecraftian abominations for this list, but it's Ludwig the Accursed that takes the rotting cake here. This gangly, irregular beast strikes fear immediately. Once a healing church hunter, Ludwig eventually turned into this hideous beast due to his bloodlust. It's clear from his toothy-mouthed maw, melting flesh, and hoof-like appendages that this boss is meant to devastate other hunters, both with its haunting visage and its powerful attacks. Number 25, Asmodeus Kamoshida, Persona 5 Royal. I mean, you are seeing this guy on screen, right? Pure nightmare fuel. Suguru Asmodeus Kamoshida, otherwise known as Shadow Kamoshida, is downright disturbing to behold. Most of Persona 5 Royal's bosses are scary representations of their inner demons, but Kamoshida takes the spook factor up by like 100 notches here.
Utterly useless.
Stop!
The most obvious factor in this guy's creepiness is his massive deadly tongue that can sweep around the screen with ease. While Kamoshida's attacks and abilities can be terrifying, it's really in the way he appears. He looks like a demonic version of a man warped by his inner evil desires and intentions. Number 24, Atman, Shadow Hearts. For the uninitiated, Shadow Hearts is a cult classic PS2 JRPG infused with horror elements all throughout. Following the haunting and harrowing journey of Yuri and Alice, Shadow Hearts upends JRPG tradition in terms of its Judgment Ring turn-based battles, as well as its genuinely scary narrative. The culmination of this game's scariness just so happens to be the battle with Atman. Atman is the realized form of darkness, a being who wants to devour souls to release darkness into the world. This haunting visage is covered with hideous eyes and dead-looking flesh, and is ready for a solid fight. Number 23, the Vortex Queen, Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin starts as a pretty calm and peaceful ocean adventure where you play as the adorable Echo. However, as the game progresses, seeds of horror start to blossom. This lingering thought in the back of your mind grows more and more prominent as Echo ventures through level after level. Eventually, all bets are off when that seed bursts forth from the ground into pure unadulterated horror in the form of the game's final boss, the Vortex Queen. This monolithic alien-like being is a shock to the system because she feels like she was ripped straight out of a sci-fi survival horror game. Number 22, Torque's Hatred, The Suffering. The 2000s era hidden gem horror game The Suffering is brimming with scary moments and monsters. Setting up this terrifying journey down the rabbit hole is Torque, a man on death row after being accused of brutally murdering his family in cold blood. It's here at Abbott State Penitentiary that Torque must face unbelievable and unending fears. The game's horror eventually lead to Torque's Hatred, the final boss of the game. This creature is the embodiment of Torque's anger, rage, and of course hatred. Its appearance is that of a larger, more pronounced version of the monster that Torque can transform into during the game. The pure evil intentions this boss has are showcased brilliantly throughout this punishing final battle. Number 21, the Tormentor, Dead Space 2. Gotta love Dead Space's necromorphs, right? These once human, now alien/zombie-like beings are the epitome of pure terror. Poor Isaac Clarke has to battle a staggering number of these nefarious creatures throughout his sci-fi journey. However, it's Dead Space 2's The Tormentor that truly stands out as being the most horrifying in the series. The huge necromorph is composed of multiple corpses, assembled to create a beast that feels part human, part spider, and even part crab. The way the various limbs jut out from the greater body as the creature frantically and erratically attacks Isaac is true dread. Number 20, The Thing from the Stars, Darkest Dungeon.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
We can already hear you asking, just what the heck is that thing? What you're looking at is an eldritch creature that somehow snuck its way into an already spine-tingling turn-based beast of a game. This horrifying construction of horse, human, and crystal is one of the toughest mini-bosses to stem from the Color of Madness, boasting a high resistance to stun and capable of inflicting massive stress on your party.
A shard of alien malignity.
On top of that, it can take 2 turns and cure itself of any ailments while attacking. It's crazy. Best come up with a solid plan before hunting it down, assuming you even want to rise to the challenge. Well, we'll take our chances elsewhere.
Be gone, fiend.
Number 19, The Cleaver, Dementium the Ward. Nightmare's creatures seem to fit right in since the game takes place in a nightmare. A faceless, gluttonous monstrosity, the Cleaver gets his name, like most other enemies in this game, from his appearance. With a cleaver in place of his left hand and an acid-filled syringe in the other, it is capable of both ranged and melee attacks. Trapped in the room with you, his large stomping and heavy grunting fill the room, determined to hunt you down and make you another one of his victims. Number 18, Eddie Gluskin, aka The Groom, Outlast Whistleblower.
Darn.
Some secrets are definitely better left buried, but when you have an asylum filled to the brim with horrible experiments on already psychologically damaged patients, maybe someone should blow the whistle. Eddie Gluskin is one of the many disturbed patients roaming the halls, though he is more prone to violence given his serial killer past.
Love isn't for everybody.
Due to his desire to find the perfect woman, he is taken to torturing and capturing male patients and performing genital mutilation, and he has the hots for you. In a relentless pursuit that spans most of the expansion, he almost succeeds in taking you as his bride. Thankfully, the wedding is off.
You're not what you're meant to be.
This place can see into your mind.
Number 17, High Lord Wolnir, Dark Souls 3. For a time, skeletons in video games seem to have lost their edge. They just didn't feel all that scary anymore, honestly. Thankfully, Dark Souls 3 was there to remind us that the bony undead can be truly frightening. After touching a mysterious chalice, you are transported to a world of darkness. What awaits you is this giant skeletal being, his fingers larger than your body with skulls adorned on his chest. Not scary enough for you? Okay, well, this guy barely takes any damage, and your only chance at making it out alive is by breaking his bracelets, forcing him back into the darkness. Number 16, Andros, Star Fox 64.
It's foolish to come against me.
Labeling Andros as a mad scientist is only really scratching the surface. Working originally for the Corneria system, he delved deeper into more dangerous territories, resulting in Cornerian lives being lost. After being exiled to the planet Venom, the ape continued to work on his experiments, diving deeper into his madness and declaring himself emperor. It is unclear, but through his mad experiments, his body was lost, as he became a giant head and hands. Don't be fooled by the robotic decoy. The real Andros battle ends with him becoming a giant brain. Yeah, it's real gross.
So, Andros, you show your true form.
Number 15, The Crones, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Welcome, child of the Elder Blood.
This trio of witches, Brues, Weaves, and Wispis, inhabit the swamps of Velen, both praised and feared by locals as the ladies of the wood. Sure, they're attractive when Ciri first meets them, but in actuality, they're a bunch of old hags always in search of their next meal.
Yum, yum.
What puts these living sacks of wrinkles on this list, however, is the fact that they appear to be immortal, using elixirs and cruel concoctions to keep themselves from aging and continue to appear as gorgeous women. Don't bother asking one of them to dinner, not at all. You'd be setting yourself up for the worst and probably last date of your entire life. Number 14, the Great Serpent, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Snakes? I mean, come on, why did it have to be snakes? Just when we thought this Souls-like would steer away from the more frightening concepts featured in From Software's past catalog, the studio just went ahead and threw in a giant colossal snake. This slithery sky serpent is no laughing matter either. To come out of this alive, you'll have to sneak past its stone-cold gaze and deal the creature several death blows. Just when you thought the nightmare was over, you find a second great serpent lurking at the bottom of the sunken valley. The worst part is that this one is unkillable. Number 13, Dead Hand, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. As if re-deads weren't enough to scare the living daylights out of us as kids, Nintendo had to go and conjure up this elongated monstrosity. Lying in wait at the bottom of the well, Dead Hand is an amorphous blob-like creature with a long cranny neck, wide open mouth, and human-like teeth. To make matters worse, your first encounter with him is as young Link, when you're susceptible to more damage. It doesn't help that he's more detailed in the 3DS version. We can only assume that Dead Hand was the source of many, many, many nightmares. Number 12, Panzer Mortar, Call of Duty World War II. Just when you thought Nazi zombies had run its course in the scare department, along comes this Cronenberg fantasy. Made entirely of flesh and metal, this armor killer has final boss written all over it, and is pretty dead set on ruining your day. Good luck. It doesn't matter how much armor you've stocked up on, the Reich's secret weapon will make short work of it if you aren't careful. Try not to look at this disgusting structure for too long, or the nauseating sight may turn you from a zombie killing machine to a deer stuck in headlights. Number 11, Crocomier, Super Metroid. Now, it might be short, but it's no less capable of spooking the player. While exploring the volcanic region of Norfair on the planet Zebes, bounty hunter Samus Aran is faced by the imposing creature known as Crocomier. Already rendered intimidating by its resistance to all conventional weapons, Crocomier's use of fireballs and claws raises its ability to evoke fear. Thus, the ensuing battle is tense, with Samus having to push onward to ensure the beast's fiery demise. And, that scream. And even then, Crocomier isn't quite done. Number 10, Legion, Castlevania series. Fear it, for it is many. A recurring boss in the Castlevania series, Legion first appeared in Symphony of the Night in the catacombs of Dracula's castle. Legion distinguishes itself from other foes in the player's path. First and foremost, it appears as a sphere constructed from multiple layers of human bodies, disturbing in scope as it is in imagery. Legion also stands as a notable physical challenge. It can drop bodies from its surface as zombies, showering the surrounding chamber in corpses, and fire difficult to evade beams. Legion is at once threatening and deeply unsettling. Number 9, The Keeper, The Evil Within. Probably best to keep clear of this fellow. In the 7th chapter of 2014's The Evil Within, players were brought face to face with the Keeper, a box-headed being with a knack for lethal injury. Designed to symbolize past crimes kept hidden, the Keeper walks a fine line between being distinctive in appearance and dangerous in action. It wields both a large meat tenderizing hammer and a spike-filled sack, being all too willing to chase you down whenever it shows up. Add to that its use of debilitating barbed wire mines, and the result is a truly imposing and scary game boss. Number 8, Tentacles, Half-Life. Aggressive from the outset, the Tentacles are not easily trifled with, not at all. As theoretical physicist Gordon Freeman makes his way through the devastated Black Mesa facility, it becomes necessary for him to cross through a rocket propulsion silo. There, he is faced with the extraterrestrial horror of a trio of tentacles, rooted by some means into the silo itself. Besides their ghoulish visual design, what makes the tentacles scary is their sheer resilience. They cannot be destroyed by Gordon's weapons. Fortunately, it's said that rocket engines are quite handy as a means of disinfectant. Number 7, the Sorrow, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. The spirit of the warrior will always be with you, and that's terrifying. Towards the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, CIA operative Naked Snake experiences a near-death experience by way of falling into a river, bringing him before the Sorrow.
I am the sorrow. Like you, I too am filled with sadness.
The ghost of an elite soldier, the Sorrow had a unique gift in life, being able to summon and embody the souls of the dead. In death, he brings forth any soldiers felled by Snake, while also firing mental bursts and forcing Snake to trudge through a purgatory-like realm. Though true fear comes from Snake's chilling scream at the fake game over screen. Number 6, the Butcher Diablo. The Butcher stands as one of several overlord demons in the service of the prime evil, Mephisto, being particularly notable in its brutality. Players who opt to undertake the quest to vanquish said demon are greeted with mutilated bodies and an imposing horned beast wielding a cleaver. Coupled with its blood-splattered attire and its relentless desire to kill, the Butcher is a true terror to behold and not for the faint of heart.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
Number 5, the Rat King, The Last of Us Part 2.
There's a reason we haven't touched this area yet. It was ground zero for the whole city, where they brought the first infected before anyone knew better.
It's very easy to forget under all the drama and emotion in its broken world that, at its core, The Last of Us's gameplay is deeply rooted within survival horror. While the bloaters were already a scary sight to behold, sure, they were mere appetizers for what awaited us in the hospital basement in Part 2. Get a load of this thing, the result of multiple infected individuals trapped in isolation for over 20 years, fusing together into this walking nightmare. The sequence starts off in a terrifying chase sequence, but eventually you have to fight it, and don't get too close or else it'll kill you without even breaking a sweat. Number 4, Marguerite Baker, Resident Evil 7. One of the most memorable ways in which the franchise's return to glory distinguishes itself is by making each member of the Baker family represent a subgenre of horror. Jack represented slasher flicks, Lucas embodied psychological horror, and Marguerite was, body horror, I guess. Needless to say, Capcom succeeded in making our stomachs churn with her character design. Really, what's more frightening than an old woman whose lower half is a freaking bug nest and has centipedes pouring out of her mouth? This was a boss fight we may have won, but only at the cost of losing our lunch. Number 3, Photoshop Flowey, Undertale. With all the teachings of inclusivity and the silly antics, Photoshop Flowey shocked and frightened many. After killing Asgore and absorbing all the souls of the human children, Flowey transforms into a horrifying amalgamation of metal, organs, and flowers. Possessing near godlike power rather than just simply killing you, he refuses to let you save and continue onward, crashing your game and reloading you back into the same battle. Taunting you at every turn, he somehow manages to grow more terrifying as the battle moves on, changing shape as the face on his monitor stares down at you. There's a reason Undertale fans call this guy God Flowey. Number 2, Gigas, Earthbound. Embodying the power of evil itself, the alien Gigas is encountered in the climax of Earthbound, confronted by kid hero Ness and company. The heroes are taken to a dimension of pure darkness and glance upon the swirling horror that is Gigas. said to have been inspired by a scene from the 1957 Japanese film The Military Policeman and the Dismembered Beauty, Gigas' vaguely twisted form fits with the unknowable nature of Gigas himself. Thus, the terror at play here is based on how little is understood about Gigas, and how uncomfortable that makes the audience.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Pyramid Head, Silent Hill 2. Nothing like a creature with geometry for a head to send us fleeing. Meant to represent protagonist James Sunderland's desire for punishment, Pyramid Head takes its concept to heart. Be it brutalizing other monsters in the town of Silent Hill, or chasing down James with its massive blade, Pyramid Head's persistence is matched by its cruelty and mysterious nature. It kills without mercy, disappears and reappears of its own accord, and never clearly spells out its reason for being. If ever something were to frighten us to the very core, this would most definitely be it. So, which video game boss haunts you the most? Let us know in the comments.